Okay, cool. Okay, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is the New York by Night. Sorry, why did I say New York by Night? I meant to say New Orleans by Night. Sorry about that. So yeah, New Orleans by Night. It's getting rather late in the evening as Monsieur Leblanc is just kind of, has gotten back from his date with Claire and is now trying to spend a little bit of blood to try to heal until he can get back some of his levels over the next few nights. And he'll still be wheelchair bound for a while, but hopefully he might be able to get some of his a few of his levels back, if nothing else, for being able to. Anyway, so as he's sitting there, just trying to slowly spend blood and heal, lo and behold, he gets a phone call from Clay, and
All right. Before the phone rings, admins, this is a role, a resources role for Clay, and he has one success there. That's actually what I needed. Okay, and that resources role will be addressed when Clay begins to speak in game, and as we
okay,
return in game.
okay, Ring. Bonsoir.
Oh, good evening, Mr. LeBlanc. I'm sure you're wondering why I was such a dick to you last night.
Monsieur Clay, I'm kind of surprised to hear from you. I have a little. Yeah, I was a little concerned about after everything, and after when you left me in this wheelchair, I must confess I'm a little concerned because well, anyway, you were saying.
Initially, I was making a play to the Tremere, attempting to get on their good side, because, let's face it, that's what politics are.
I'm listening.
This was the initial intention. Now, as I have begun to unravel some of the seeds of this little conspiracy that's going on in New Orleans, the plan has been changed. Your incident was a I've spun it to be a setup. You understand, and maybe I apologize if I misuse the terminology here, but I too understand the parts of a trick of an illusion. In order for you to be believable in your role, you needed to be completely unaware that you were acting it. The Tremere have been suspicious in recent nights. Originally, I thought it was just me being paranoid, and I thought the whole thing had been blown over by the toilet door. But after let's just say some people of high power gave me a very stern talking to, and as a result of this, the Tremere have been thrown under the proverbial bus, and your your incident was evidence to set them up. I'm sure this doesn't make you feel any better about the situation, but you gave me one of your business cards a while back. If you go check your email, you will find an email from myself with an address and a number. At
Yeah.
that address, there will be a rental car waiting for you. In this car, you will find a number of supplies, a number of decks, clubs, flash papers, items and supplies I think you might be useful to you. The number in the email is the combination to a lock that is under the back tire of that car. The key to the car is tied around that lock.
I understand. Thank you for letting me. Thank you for this. This is a great recompense. But you do understand as well that that I will not be leaving the city. The prince has told me I am not to leave because I have not been banished.
That is good to hear. That is actually very good to hear. I spoke with the prince, and after he gave me that answer reaming, I decided it was a great idea that maybe he should know about the trivia. And it didn't. I assumed that he had taken care of you from the way he had spoken. But in order, like I said, in order for this to work, you need you needed to not know that you were part of the setup. And since the prince has tasked me with a number of things, I need you to remain part of the setup.
What do you need
As
to
I
do?
do not trust the Tremere. I do not trust the Tremere at this point. They are making plays against the prince.
Well, I believe
In
the
a
exact.
political stand, in
Yeah.
a political stand, we are both in a position to where we see the value in both sides of the argument. But as of right now, it is safer, in my opinion, to side with the prince. I swore fealty to him and to the Camarilla this evening. I would advise that you probably do the same.
The next time I see the prince,
When,
I will be doing so.
yes. And I know that these simple items may be of pointless use given the pain and suffering that I put you through, but before I complete this call, I need you to understand that the reason why that was done is because the Giovanni apparently took offense to your little illusion with their photo or with their portrait the other night. And I don't know if you're aware of just how much pull the Giovanni have, but they offered some major boons to anyone that could provide proof of your uh, broken back. It was never our intention to rip your legs away. It was things got a little carried away, and again, I am sorry, but again, this was not personal. This was politics.
At this, Monsieur Leblanc does a pause for a second and says, "Did you say that they would offer major boons to anyone who could provide evidence of my broken back? Is that their
They
exact wording?"
offered a boon. They offered a boon to one specific person. I cannot reveal who that person is because he's part of this setup as well. And I
So it's
don't,
not for
and
anyone.
I can't have the streams crossing.
Okay,
On
well,
the
no.
other hand, if you do what I think you're thinking about, you may be able to pull it off. But if you do this, be extremely careful because they're already on their sheet list.
My plan is to go back and to apologize for the incident in question, say that I was unaware of how important that particular portrait was, and offer my evidence of my broken back. Say I hope that say that I trust this will remedy the situation and no hard feelings all round.
It is worth a shot, but you have to understand these are not men with which you can reason easily. These are it's hard to describe, but just be very, very careful.
I understand. I understand.
And when I say be, no, no, I know. Unfortunately, I'm afraid you don't. When I say be very careful, I mean your very presence there could be life altering.
I am aware of that, but nonetheless, I am. Nonetheless, I do intend that. I do intend that before. I do intend that that I figure that the prince has told me it would be highly inadvisable for me to go back. But nonetheless, I feel that if I can at least apologize to the Giovanni and show that I am, taking my injury as punishment, perhaps there might be some. Perhaps there might be some way whereby they might decide that this is all that perhaps bygones can be bygones. At which point, if I turn and leave after, if I pop in, offer my apologies to Monsieur Giovanni, Monsieur Le Giovanni, and go out. Perhaps that's, and at least if evidence gets back to him that I showed up in my wheelchair, broken as I am, and that I'm taking it as such, maybe if not that he is going to be completely if that he's not going to be completely forgiving, at least he might be glad to know that I have taken it as a punishment. Now that I know that how much
Hmm.
offense I caused him.
Here's what I would recommend you do. Do not contact him in person. Hire yourself, and I know it might be a little hard unless you've had a increase in resources that I'm not aware of, and if you haven't, I'll help what I can. Write him a very nice letter. Hire someone of high professional caliber. Write him a very nice letter and express your deep, deep regrets at having injured he and his estate. I would not say offer your services because that's what essentially what greatly put you in the position to begin with. But do apologize profusely. Kiss his ass if you have to. But do not go see him in person.
So do not attend that ball coming up on tomorrow evening.
Yeah, do not. Don't get anywhere near that ball.
Well, I've got I
And
must
if you have to go, but if you have to, this is coming
yeah.
from someone who is in the knowledge to someone who is apparently not.
Yeah. I
Do
understand.
not go to that ball. And if you decide you're going to ignore my advice anyway, disguise yourself. Do not make it immediately clear who you are.
Well, it is a masquerade ball after all.
It may need more than that. You may need the power of the blood.
I have an idea on that, but we'll see what I can do. In the meantime, I'm going to. In the meantime, I'm going to. It's very late, but thank you again for calling me, Monsieur Clay, and thank you as well for this recompense. I do understand the fact that that I am playing a part in a much larger PS in a much larger PS, shall we say? Thank you for
All
letting me
right.
know.
Um,
I will let you guys.
I just want to let you know, you may also get a correspondence from Father Deacons this evening. Just be prepared for it.
I understand. Hopefully, he will explain to me exactly what the. I'm surprised that the major boon was offered for that particular portrait. It didn't seem like it didn't. I didn't recognize it as any classical piece or anything of that sort.
Well, let's just say that there are those among us who, by power of the blood, became aware of the fact that those portraits were more than meets the eye.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's getting late. I should probably turn into. I should probably turn in before the day breaks. But thank you
It's
again for.
likewise because I'm sure my name has got out into the public as having been involved with your unfortunate accident.
Uh, I should
So
mention I talked to Claire
I may need a
recently.
bit down too. Oh, have you?
Yes, I talked to Claire recently. I told her she was the prince told me to talk to only those I trusted, and well, Claire's one I trust, and so I told her about everything. And her exact words to me were that she was going to carry me into the ball if the ball was not wheelchair accessible. So she's a headstrong woman, that one.
Yeah, she is very headstrong. So you discussed your situation with Claire.
In full, but I figure since you've been honest with me, I should tell you the truth that I told her everything in full as to what I knew at the time. I may have to talk to her tomorrow to let her know that you've
No,
given me the call. And
no, do not change it. If we try to change plans now, it will fail. She, as well as everyone else, that needs to know does. We'll put it like this. At this point, this information is on need-to-know basis, and right now she doesn't need to know. She needs to believe that Clay Morley had it out for you and that he's gone on some kind of political, but you don't know what exactly is wrong with Clay. So let her believe everything that she wants to believe.
Which means that in that case, then, that if we maintain plans, I'm still going to have to go to the ball, considering it was Claire who was the one who wants me to go.
Very well, then if it's Claire that wants you to go, then it is not necessarily your fault if she drags you into their room.
I could live with that. And besides, if I'm still going, I could still make my apologies anyway. But I will write that letter in advance.
Be very, very careful how you play this.
I completely agree. But in the meantime, all the best, and so I must confess, I at least am now in a if all else fails and I do get out alive, I at least have a safe location to return to right now. I am not staying
That
with
is good
Mr.
to hear.
Delano. That's the other thing.
Oh, thank you, please, thank you.
Yes, Monsieur Delano apparently does. Apparently, the prince does not trust Monsieur Delano, and I've been explicitly instructed not to return there. So,
Rightfully so.
but
I know of I know of some information about Mr. Delano that he's right not to trust, but that's
no,
not important right now. What's important is that you're in a safe position and that
no.
you continue to maintain this masquerade that you were the victim of an unfortunate crime.
Well, I should also mention, which is technically true, so I can't say that I necessarily know more. I should mention that I'm probably likely to forget this anyway upon tomorrow morning, and consider this only a dream anyway. But just in case, one thing I should probably mention, since we're in a position where we're trusting each other more, apparently some information has come to light about you recently.
Do tell.
Well, I was told not to tell anyone, but this was apparently privileged information. But apparently, I know that you are a son of Discord.
Do you know? And how does that make you feel?
Curious.
Explain.
Well, again, see, the problem is that for the past several decades, I have just simply mostly only introduced myself to the prince, and generally not bothered for the most part with beyond some of the basic clan understandings. Part of the reason I've only heard that the Giovanni and the Sons of Discord both mentioned in passing, but I've never actually met one before, so I wasn't sure what either of the clans did. That was part of why I went to see the Giovanni in the first place. I still don't understand what the Giovanni do, but I'm also a little confused as to what the Sons of Discord do, like what their special clan sort of thing is.
The Giovanni you will never understand. Don't even try to. Their connections are like a spider's web. There's this one guy answers to another guy who answers to a guy above him, and it's likely that the guy above him is answering to someone in a completely different way. So don't even try to understand them. Just know that they will always speak in circles. As far as my family, there's for my own security, I cannot reveal everything. But let's just say that I have some very special talents with my voice.
I see. Well, that might, if you're performing at the ball when I get dragged along and you're using them, it might be very interesting to hear.
Oh, I much well intend to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what I was also told as well. Claire also, when she told me of this, also told me that she thought you might defect back to the Sabbat or something, but I have no idea what that's about.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what we need her to believe. I need
Yeah.
her to not trust me.
Yeah, then I will.
Let's
Then I will.
so let me tell. I will let you in on the secret as best I can because I can't let the least amount of hands that are in this pot, the easier it'll be to pull off.
Okay.
The Sabbat are knocking on our door right now. We know this. So I do not, at this point, I do not trust the Sabbat. I trust the Jameer even less.
Ah,
So if it comes to the points, I may have to play one hand against the other.
that's what I figured when you said you trusted Tremere even less. I kind of saw where this was going. Okay, I can understand that. Just do be careful yourself. You don't inadvertently get mistaken by the prince for the other kind when you're going undercover and wind up
Oh
getting.
no, I'll be speaking with him soon.
Ah bien. All right. Well, I will let Claire believe what she needs to. I'm likely going to forget most of this by tomorrow anyway. So
Yes,
the one thing
this
about
dream, this wonderful, fantastical dream that you're having right now.
yes, exactly. Anyway, I needs must get to sleep. So thanks again
Oh
for
yeah,
calling
please
today,
do.
and all the best to you.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
And
This.
the phone hangs up.
Yeah, and the same goes on the other end. And with that, the scene ends.